Ladies and gentlemen, while not quite official, we have essentially signed Hiroki Ito today for 30 million from Stuttgart, paying his release clause. Now, this news came out of nowhere. Like straight up, this news came out of nowhere. I've not made videos in a while now. I was going to wait until the Euro started and then start making videos, but with us signing someone, let's talk about it. Just a little bit. These are just my preliminary thoughts. We'll talk about it in a lot more details tomorrow. But just initial thoughts as someone that's actually watched Hiroki Ito quite a lot. I'm actually quite a huge fan. I'm not gonna lie, I am quite a huge fan. Now here's the thing, right? While I welcome this move a lot, I'm a fan of this transfer. 30 million is quite a big amount of money. He is talented. He is young. And you look at where he plays for, who he plays for, and how well they did this season. Clearly, he shows that he can deal with the stress of being hunted, so to speak. So that's a positive. Those are all positives. My worry is that we always know how our budget is quite quote unquote limited each and every single summer. And so we have a lot more pressing matters, but the thing as well that he can play as a left centre back, and that's something that we really needed. And so I like this deal a lot. I like this deal a lot. My worry is what happens next. So my issue with this deal is that it's 30 million on a good player, but all the sources have said that we're still looking at Ta. We're still looking at selling either Delict or Upamecano or maybe both. And then I'm just thinking to myself, now it's tricky. Now it's tricky. Like, how much are we actually able to sell? Because it's all fine and good, wanting to sell players, but how much are we actually able to sell? Now, let's talk about Hiroki Ito a little bit, before we talk about hypotheticals that, we can't control anyway. Positives. He's young. He's young, he's talented, he's made a lot of steps and leaps forward. He's progressed very nicely, and there's still a lot of progress that can still happen. So these are very much a lot of positives. This very much reminds me of when we bought Upamecano. Actually, you could say the same thing about the Ligt, where you buy these players that have experience at clubs where they have had to manage expectations. And then you sort of just move on from that and you just sort of say, well, now you want them to take the next step at Bayern. Can he do that? I think so. Now, just a little bit about Ito. He's sort of like, I know a friend of mine, so a bit off topic, but a friend of mine once described him as like an all-rounder. I don't really agree with it, but I also know why he said that. He's a very modern centre back. That's basically what he is. He's a very modern centre back. The kind of centre back that can do everything, that can play, everywhere. That can do passes. That is not slow. Yeah, that's always the thing. Not everyone's like Varane speed. No, you don't need that necessarily. But he's not slow. He's not lightning quick. But he's fast. He's good with his passes. So all around, he's just a solid player. And that's not what we lacked. You saw that last season with Eric Dyer, that just having one solid player that doesn't have to be excellent at everything, but is good at everything. In this case, I would say Ito is great at everything. Just having one person that you can rely on, that goes a long way. And that's sort of what we've been missing. And so I'm very excited about it, about us signing him. My worry, of course, like I said, is what happens next. Who are we going after next? Who are we selling? What's happening in terms of transfers? Of course, there are a lot of Ito videos that you can watch. My recommendation is to try and watch some actual matches. Not because the highlights don't show you good moments from him, but because I feel like he is, I'm going to use my friend's saying here, he's a very, very solid player. Just, I know, that sounds so basic, but it's just that calmness that you see when you, watch him. That's sort of something that you don't really see at Bayern, where, we've got a lot of players that excel at one thing or another and are typically good at everything, but then also have, clear weaknesses. In his case, you just see everything being, okay, I'm going to use a boxing term here. He's got very solid fundamentals. Actually, no, it's more like a basketball term. He's got very solid fundamentals. Everything is at least a C, and there's clearly a few areas where he can progress to be even better. That he kind of just scratched the surface on. So that's just my thoughts. I know Twitter mob is currently going wild. They're like, oh no, how could we spend 30 million on this and we were selling McCann and and I'm just like, let's see what happens first. I'm happy for this move. To the Japanese viewers and Japanese fans, welcome. Welcome to Bayern, I guess, because there's obviously a lot of Japanese Bundesliga fans, but typically they support Dortmund because obviously, previously you had Shinji Kagawa, or I guess properly pronounced Shinji Kagawa. But now you've actually got one at Bayern as well, which is obviously, we've had a lot of aggressive marketing it's actually thinking about it, we had a lot of aggressive marketing in Asia. Suddenly we've got Kim, and now we've got Ito. And we also had a lot of aggressive marketing in the Americas. And then we signed Davis and then Irokunda. So, interesting. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Just saying.